Why would the Anunnaki create the human race to mine gold? With their advanced technology, couldn't they just have mined it for themselves?
Of course you can mine gold for yourself. Well, put yourself in a position where you've got great Caesar and laser technology, and you can dig the gold out of the ground. But how much gold are you going to dig if there's 20 or 30 or 60 of you, right? Not much, even if you have advanced Caesar and laser technology. But if you have 10 million people doing it, you're digging a lot more gold than just 60 of you. So that is why it's a common question I get, and the answers are very simple. You don't fool yourselves. Let's not fool ourselves for 1 second that just because we get advanced technology, and that in itself is a very interesting discussion. What is advanced technology actually? Just because you get advanced technology doesn't mean you can do things on a mass scale under certain limitations, or within a specific environment that dictates specific limitations. And there I speak about the dense reality and the dense environment of consciousness and the dense field that we find ourselves on this planet, the reality we find ourselves in here.
Right, but could they not have just cloned themselves? Why the need to create a hybrid?
Well, they didn't want to do the work. There was a rebellion that's very clearly outlined in Sitchin's work. When the Anunnaki were digging the gold for thousands of years, they didn't just do this and give up within a day or two. They did it for thousands of years until they said, sorry, we've had enough. We're not going to do all this hard labor, because they were putting some of their own kind into really treacherous mining conditions. And if you've ever been underground into a mine, you know what I mean. It is not a pleasant place to be. So when their own kind refused to do the work, they realized that they would have to find an alternative to the solution, or to the problem. And the solution was to clone a new species that was smart enough to follow orders, but not smart enough to question its own existence and its own consciousness. It had to have a big enough frontal lobe to follow instructions and follow orders and learn how to handle tools and repeat it over and over again, and also be of high consciousness or conscience to understand fear and to understand the threat of punishment and what would happen to you if you do not follow orders, that you will be punished. And so the enslavement, the creation of the species is really a lot more complex than people would just imagine. It's not something that you just do overnight. Say, oh, we just create a species and they'll do what we tell them to do. It's not that simple. It's obviously, and according to Sitchin's writings, it took them a long time to get the right mix, the right genetic mix, to create the right kind of creature that would perform all these tasks and be the right kind of slave. And boy, did they get it right. Look at us today.